7. Wiping tears to see clearly. Earning money to take revenge on the Zhu family was crucial, but before anything else, Shen Lang needed to return to his own home. His father was gravely wounded and his younger brother's leg was broken. He had to save them immediately. It had been 3 months since they'd seen him. They must be worried sick. "Master Thiem, shall we carry you back?" asked Tian Hang's 13 or 14 sworn disciples. They never took their eyes off him. Shen Lang had no chance to escape. He stretched his body, flexing every sinew and bone, then headed toward his home. As the Year of Prince's notes had mentioned, Vietnam lay to the southeast border of the Great Viêm Empire. Though mountainous and uneven, the roads were surprisingly well constructed. Even rural paths were around 4 meters wide and could accommodate 3 horse-drawn carts side by side, far beyond what ancient China had. By midday, Shen Lang finally arrived at his home in Maple Village. The village lay in a mountain valley, about 600 households. It had sturdy stone walls and around 20 militia members patrolling, carrying blades and even some bows and arrows. In most ancient Chinese dynasties, weapons like these were banned, but here they were openly displayed. This world prized valor extremely highly, far more than ancient China ever did. At first glance, the place looked deserted. Houses only stood in thick clusters along the riverbanks, except for Thien's, a lonely mud brick house on the hillside, distant from the village. His family was from elsewhere, and over the past dozen years, they'd failed to integrate with the deeply insular townsfolk, and yet it had become home. As he approached, he saw his devastated home, much worse than he remembered from 3 months ago. Weeds choked the courtyard. The mud walls had holes from wind and rain. The roof had lost its tiles, now covered with thatch. It looked wretched, could no longer keep out even the smallest storm. Before he reached the door, he heard his mother weeping, his father coughing violently, and his younger brother moaning. "Move quickly, the Zhu family! Bring Dai Lang home! Bring Dai Lang home!" his father wheezed, blood tinging his voice. His breathing was labored, signs of serious lung inflammation. "Father, I'll bring him home tomorrow," his younger brother promised. Their mother wailed, "That old man is still coughing up blood and hasn't gotten out of bed in days. His leg, completely shattered. If they don't return Dai Lang, I'll kill them at the main gate of the Zhu Manor. My poor child, so kind, so honest. What if they mistreat him in that cruel household? My child never suffered, never strayed from us. Now who knows what hardships he's endured." His brother, unable to bear it, said, "Mother, I'll gather 2 strong lads now. Tomorrow I go to the Zhu household to bring him back, even if I died trying." Hearing that, a fierce heat rose in Shen Lang's chest. He burst inside and knelt before his parents. His voice trembled. "Father, Mother, your unfilial son has returned." Their expressions first froze, then broke into ecstatic tears. His mother rushed to him, sobbing, "Dai Lang, my child, you came back. I thought I'd never see you again." His father, overcome, tried to stand, but coughs racked him till he spat frothy blood. His brother suddenly cried out in pain as he sat up, his legs still throbbing. "I'm here, I'm back," Shen Lang assured him. His mother cried, "My son, stay with us now, and whatever happens, just never go back to the Zhu family again." Shen Lang nodded firmly. "Yes, I'll never go back." "Good, so right," she sobbed. "We'll raise you together, and we'll never let the Zhu family harm you again." His father, overjoyed, added, "My child understands everything." Their love overwhelmed him. He helped his father sit up and used his X-ray vision to examine his internal injuries. Lung inflammation, stomach damage, rib fractures, and a lot of internal bruising from 3 months of torture. His leg was completely broken. Only a debt of gratitude kept him alive. The 10 gold coins his brother borrowed had been used for treatment. Without them, his father would have died. 10 coins was an astronomical sum for a farming family, and yet, his father hadn't fully healed. Without immediate treatment, his life remained at risk. Within moments, Shen Lang had devised a treatment plan: make a tiny incision in his father's lung to drain the swollen inflammation, then use herbal medicine to reduce heat and restore his ki, cure him within months. "Father, I'll never make you worry again," he said, placing a hand on his father's fevered head. His parents stared in awe, even as he coughed violently again, his love for his son shining in his eyes. "Dai Lang," his father managed. Yes, their son had changed. He'd become extraordinary. Their love had always been unconditional, but they silently knew that their older son had once been mentally dull, a wasted soul. Yet now, he was brilliant and strong. His mother inspected his face, crying out, "Yes, yes, our Dai Lang, such refined soul!" Shen Lang thought he might have to explain the change, but there was no need. His parents, overjoyed and tearful, didn't wait for explanations. "Brother, did the Zhu family chase you away?" his brother asked. Shen Lang nodded. His mother sighed in relief. "Then they're rightly punished. That cruel household mistreated our son so. Though we're poor, we'll support you and you'll suffer no more." His father added, "When you left to join the Zhu family, I thought you were going to anger me. But once you and your brother recover, find a good spouse and come back." Mother said, "Besides, there's Widow Liu in the village. Though she's older than you, she's kind, and our Liang Fang, there's no harm in taking her." They didn't look down on Shen Lang, just pragmatically considering a match they believed he could handle. They acknowledged that despite his good looks, his past reputation and low intelligence limited his prospects. Shen Lang smiled and helped his brother lie back down. His brother teased, "I'll be fine in a week or two. We poor farm folk have to live by any means. I might beg my way to the capital for a ride in a carriage for money." He was devoted but unreliable. His leg risked death if untreated. "When were you injured?" Shen Lang asked. "Yesterday," his brother said. "I sought news of you at the Zhu household for weeks. They wouldn't let me in, so I returned, then was ambushed and my leg shattered." He confirmed his brother's suspicion. The Zhu family was behind the attack. Shen Lang's handsome face hardened, his eyes gleaming with icy resolve. He said, "I'll treat your broken leg. It'll hurt. Bear it, okay?" "Brother, when will you do it?" his brother asked, startled. Shen Lang knew he needed help. His mother was helping him dress, but there was no stopping. As a modern-life doctor with X-ray vision, treating his father and brother's injuries here was child's play. And so he began.
8. A brilliant display. Thumb Lang said, "Father, mother, I'm going into the mountain to gather some herbs. Dai Lang, your mother will go with you. You might meet wild beasts and don't get lost," his mother insisted, worry in her eyes. She treated him like a little boy, anxious at the thought of him going alone. "Mother, boil a pot of water at home. Sharpen a small medical knife, prepare a spatula, some needles, and clean cloth. Have them ready in the boiling water." His voice was fast yet firm. Her mother was amazed, but without hesitation she nodded. All right. To her, every word he spoke felt like an imperial decree. Thumb Lang grabbed a woven basket and a small shovel and set off into the mountain. Behind him, Tiang Heng's 13 or 14 sworn disciples followed like shadows. They didn't let him out of their sight, ready to kill him as soon as they could. Thumb Lang was a bit worried. There was no guarantee that the plants here matched those on Earth. He anxiously picked through unfamiliar foliage, hoping to find something recognizable. To his relief, he found many herbs: purple mint, honeysuckle, dandelion, all useful for reducing heat. Unfortunately, no licorice, but he did dig up Bon Lam Ken, a powerful herb, and 20 other medicinal plants with various healing properties. His basket brimmed with herbs. At dusk, he returned home to find his mother had prepared everything perfectly. Using his X-ray vision, Thumb Lang examined his brother's broken leg. Thankfully, the fractured bone was clean and not crushing any major blood vessels. His mother handed him the sterilized knife and heated cloth. Within minutes, Thumb Lang made a precise incision, drained the clotted blood, and aligned the bone. Lacking modern tools, he used boiled needles and thread to sew the wound, applied herbal poultices, and immobilized the limb with wooden splints and strips of cloth. Then he warned firmly, "No weight on the leg, don't move for 2 months. Then it'll heal fine." The entire procedure took less than an hour. His brother held a wooden rod between clenched teeth, tears streaming, but didn't cry out. Their parents watched in stunned silence, paralyzed by disbelief. Thumb Lang had returned not dull or helpless, but powerful and capable. His father, newly seated on the edge of the bed, gasped in relief. "Brother, you're a god! My broken leg not only stopped hurting, it never festered." His brother, a local ruffian, was well-traveled but had no medical knowledge. "I've seen many healers, but none as swift and skilled as you." Next, Thumb Lang treated his father's internal injuries. First, he drained lung fluid. Without imaging, this would have been impossible, but with his X-ray vision, he located the abscess and punctured it using a 3mm heated needle. He inserted a hollow herbal drain, just thick enough to remove the fluid. After an hour, much of the swelling and fluid were gone. His father still coughed, but breathing became much easier, a profound relief from earlier chest pain. Their shock turned to admiration. His father proudly declared, "My child is truly gifted." His mother, tears shining, nodded, "Yes, our Dai Lang is extraordinary." "Don't ask too much," he said, stopping her from inquisition. "He isn't dull, he just hid his brilliance. We won't burden him with 20 questions." Mother agreed happily. "Right. God protected him. Once he has more wealth, we'll open a clinic. He can marry the town's daughter." They spoke freely of his transformation without mentioning Tiang Heng or the debt. They were simply overjoyed. "Son, you must be hungry," she said, heading to the kitchen. She moved with swift, practice efficiency. Within half an hour, she laid out 3 bowls of rice porridge, a plate of plain rice, wild vegetables, green greens, and a platter of dry meat. Because his father and brother were bedridden, the meal was placed on small tables by their beds. They ate porridge, Thumb Lang ate rice and meat. He tried to share, but they refused. His father insisted, "If you don't eat, we won't eat. You eat the meat." The sight of him eating pleased them more than anything. It was so unfair, but also deeply loving. After the meal, Thumb Lang prepared herbal tonics. He gave nourishing bone broth to his father and brother. His brother's leg would recover in 2 months. His father's lungs still needed continuing treatment. Anti-inflammatories, lung-soothing herbs, and tonic medicine, none of which could be foraged. They would need to spend money. Dai Lang, his mother said, bringing warm water to wash his feet. It was a routine she had done since he was little. "I'll do it myself," he protested, but she knelt, saying fondly, "You loved it as a child." So he allowed her, feeling warmth flood his heart. He knew she cherished every moment.
In quiet, tense, as if something is about to happen. Hearing Tian 13's words, Shen Lang smiled and said, "Brother 13, do you want to sleep in the same bed as me?" Tian 13 replied coldly, 2 days left. If you don't come up with 1,000 gold, we'll kill your entire family." He turned and walked away. Shen Lang lay back on the large, soft bed, surprisingly new despite his broken-down home, which already leaked in places. His parents and brother shared one room. He had this one to himself. He realized this bed, the thin quilt, it was all his. His poor rural family couldn't even afford new clothes. For many, yet Shen Lang received 3 sets annually, summer, autumn, and Lunar New Year. His brother had none, wearing only hand-me-downs. Why did his parents favor him so much? It made no sense. His brother, though unpromising and rough, was still their child, yet Shen Lang received far more. Shocked, excited, full of surprise. "Trash Shen Lang," he silently vowed, "I will make my parents proud, help my brother marry, and build a future." But first, he had to overcome the immediate crisis. Tian 13 had given him 2 days to gather 1,000 gold. If he failed, his family would die. Early next morning, Shen Lang helped his father and brother stretch and washed quickly for breakfast. Bang, 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 a knock on the door. His mother, anxious, moved to open it. "I'll get it," Shen Lang said. He opened the door to find Tian 13 and Tian 14 waiting. Tian 13 said bluntly, "Time is tight. Let's go make money." "Mother, it's nothing. You know them?" Shen Lang reassured her. "Oh, his friends," she beamed. "Come in for porridge." Tian 13 smiled politely. "Thank you, Auntie, after your son finishes eating." Tian13 even smiled warmly, revealing nothing of his deadly intentions. In sharp, strong, tense, as Shen Lang and Dian Huang confront each other. Shen Lang ate his porridge, then his mother gave him a boiled egg. He instinctively served it to his father. "Eat it now," she insisted, then shelled another egg for his father and brother. "Thanks, I'll eat," he replied humbly. His mother's face lit up. "Mother, I'm going into the city. My tutor arrives today," Shen Lang shared nervously. "Back for lunch?" she asked, concerned. "I'll return tonight," he promised. Tian13 reassured her. "Auntie, we'll make sure he eats." "Thank you," his mother said gratefully. Shen Lang set off towards the city, with Tian13 and Tian14 trailing closely. 1,000 gold was a fortune. For him, it was astronomical. 4 hours later, Shen Lang and Tian13 neared the gates of Xuanwu City. They saw two men, a father in his 40s and a son in his 20s, walking awkwardly. The son was spitting up blood. Tian13 greeted them warmly, stepping forward. "Uncle Li, Big Li, long time no see." They froze a moment, embarrassed, but then smiled. "Tian13, we missed you." Tian13 suggested, "Why don't you come eat at our place? My father missed you, and he always talks about you. You owe us some money, but by no means are you strangers to us." The middle-aged man nodded. "All right, tomorrow, we'll definitely come." Indecisive, scheming, and full of confidence, Tian13 continued, "My father brewed some fine wine and cured meats. Please enjoy." They walked deeper into the trees. Shen Lang followed, curiosity piqued. Tian13 drew a dagger. In a flash, he struck the pair in the heart, witnessed as a confusing blur by Shen Lang. There was no cry, just a swift fall. Moments later, blood spilled. 14, come help, Tian13 ordered. "Yes, big brother." They disposed of the bodies discreetly. Tian13 wiped his dagger clean, checked himself, and said to Shen Lang, "Sorry about this, let's go." "Okay," Shen Lang responded calmly. From start to finish, Tian13 wore the same polite smile, even while killing. They headed towards Xuanwu City together. Suddenly, Shen Lang asked Tian13, "Was that your uncle?" "Yes, he and my father fled here long ago. We've known each other for years," Tian13 confirmed. "How much did he owe?" "Took 3 gold, lost it gambling, turned into 25 gold. Over 20 years debt from a trusted friend. Tian13 killed him without hesitation. Meanwhile, Shen Lang needed 1,000 gold. Tian13 remarked, "Shen Lang, I know you're just stalling, but you only have 2 days. Making 1,000 gold is a crazy dream. Tell me you can't, and I'll end this now." He drew his small dagger across his palm. That amount of gold represented decades of savings. For a poor rural boy, making it in 2 days was impossible. Shen Lang looked him squarely and said, "You don't need 2 days. I'll get it today." Tian13's eyes widened. "Today?" "Yes, within 3 hours," Shen Lang replied. Tian13 stared in disbelief. 3 hours? "Yes, 3 hours," Shen Lang repeated calmly. They entered Xuanwu City. It was the largest of 8 cities in Jiang District, with 25 towns and over 250,000 residents. Inside the walls alone, more than 30,000 people. The city walls towered over 12 meters, sprawling nearly 10 miles around. The visible military strength and density underscored that this world's martial power far surpassed ancient Earth China. Streets buzzed with activity. Shops lined every corner. They stopped outside a grand 3-story pavilion labeled Qinshi Pavilion, where Shen Lang planned to earn his gold and seize vengeance on the Tu family. Taking a deep breath, he stepped inside the luxurious pavilion. Let the show begin.
Getting rich. The Silks and Fabrics Pavilion belonged to Madame Lin. She sold silk, cloths, and fabrics, and she, along with Shen Lang, who had become a son-in-law in the Tu family, had partnered up. But in scale, the Lin family still played second fiddle to the grander Tu household. Though not as wealthy as the Tu clan, the Lin were still famous and rich in Xuanwu City, with influence spanning more than a dozen surrounding provinces. Most importantly, the Lin family were direct rivals of the Tu clan. As Shen Lang and Field 13, his ally from the Black Garb gang, strode into the shop, a sharp-eyed attendant hurried forward. "Greetings, honored guests. We've just released a new cotton fabric. Please feel its softness." Seeing Shen Lang's modest attire, the clerk assumed he was poor and pushed cotton instead of silk. But Shen Lang cut to the point. "Tell your master that I have a business proposal. I intend to make the Lin family at least 5,000 gold taels each year." The attendant paused. The plan sounded ludicrous for someone dressed so poorly. "Sir, do not toy with me." Field 13 stepped forward. "I am the Black Garb Gang's Agent Field 13. Please deliver my words to the Lin Patriarch." Mentioning the notorious Field 13 silenced the attendant. Though the Lin and two clans didn't mingle often, they weren't foolish to offend the Black Garb Gang. "Greetings, Master Field 13, welcome," chirped the clerk. The shop's burly supervisor hurried over. "Tea is ready." Moments later, he served fragrant tea to Field 13 and Shen Lang, then slid forward a box containing 20 gold coins, slightly more than a token of goodwill. Field 13 smiled. "Master Lin is truly welcoming, but be rest assured, this isn't extortion. We have serious business in mind." The supervisor faltered. "Business?" Field 13 nodded. "Yes, real business." The supervisor dashed off to summon the Lin Patriarch, and in half an hour, a man dressed in a silken robe arrived. It was Lin Mo, the wealthy patriarch of the Silk Pavilion in Zhuangwu City. "Let's hear this proposal," Lin Mo said briskly. Despite his calm, the Black Garb Gang carried weight, and Shen Lang dared not delay. "Yes," Shen Lang responded, "my plan can earn you at least 5,000 gold taels each year." Lin Mo frowned. The appraising tone made it clear he distrusted this flamboyant youth. "Speak." Shen Lang said, "I possess a dye formula, the Royal Golden Silk Dye. Price, 2,000 gold taels." At once, Lin Mo turned icy. "I have no time to waste on trivial youths. Show yourself out." Field 13 gasped. Shen Lang was asking for 2,000 taels for a sample? Preposterous. Yet Shen Lang calmly displayed a square of cloth dyed a radiant golden hue. Lin Mo froze. He stepped forward to examine it. Impossible! Golden like this! Field 13's jaw dropped. It glowed with a regal, gleaming brilliance. Shen Lang explained, "The Tu family got rich by supplying royal textiles. They use royal-grade golden dyes. In this kingdom, only the sovereign may wear yellow silk. That's why House Tu prospered. But their dye is dull. Yesterday, I collected copious Huangmi flowers and alum, and I created this golden dye overnight." Lin Mo's gaze narrowed. "Overnight success?" Shen Lang nodded. "Yes, with more time and materials, we can refine its brilliance. If you supply this to the Imperial Weavers, they'll reject Tu's dye and take yours." That moment, Lin Mo's skepticism melted. Shen Lang's words promised not just profit, but prestige and political leverage. Lin Mo said, "Show me proof you made it, then 2,000 taels, no less." Shen Lang agreed. Thus, the first deal was struck.
Strike back? Field 13, seeing the deal confirmed, was delighted. Lord Lin was dabbling with House Tu's fortune. This was brilliant. Shen Lang retreated to the back kitchen. "Lin, sir, allow me an hour," he said. Lin Mo nodded, leaving 2,000 taels on the table. Within an hour, Shen Lang prepared half a bowl of the golden dye. He removed traces of flour and alum in the fire, leaving only purity. He emerged. Lin Mo and Field 13 crowded around as Shen Lang poured the dye. Under sunlight, it glowed with blinding splendor. "Not only is the color magnificent, but it binds deeply. It won't fade," Shen said. Lin Mo opened his chest, revealing piles of gold taels, and smiled. "Where's the formula?" Lin Mo asked. Shen Lang handed it to him, a few pages of script. Lin Mo admitted it was elegantly simple and excellent value. Within 30 minutes, he believed he could replicate it. Shen Lang prepared to leave with his 2,000 taels, but outside came familiar voices. In walked Master Tu, the former head of the Tu family, and Tu Tianchen, Shen Lang's ex-wife. Shen Lang's heart sank. Master Tu spoke coldly. "Shen Lang, you've been expelled from our house with no hard feelings, but stealing our formula? That's theft against the sovereign. Confess now." Lin Mo was taken aback. "Master Tu, he stole it?" Master Tu snarled that Shen had no capacity to create such dye by himself, so Shen must have stolen it from the Tu household's researches. Tu Tiantian spoke gently. "If you admit it, we'll spare you. Otherwise, my father will press charges."
Despite the power play, Shen Lang remained outwardly composed, though knuckles whitened. He'd foreseen retaliation, but not like this, caught between lineages. Quickly, Shen Lang whispered to Lin Mo, who nodded. Shen Lang emerged and laughed loudly. He knowingly ignited the tension. He'd played his hand and turned the tables on two.
I don't just want to win, I want to crush. Shen Lang glanced back at Field 13, knowing that he represented the Black Garb Gang and wielded two households' influence. None had intervened when Lin Mo betrayed him and alerted the two family, Field 13 included. Now, he stood alone, facing three titans, the Tu clan, the Lin clan, and the Black Garb Gang. His best strategy? Admit to stealing the dye formula, plead for leniency, gain position, and later take revenge. Tu Tiantian had shown kindness and could help shield him, so this approach promised safety, but at what cost? Shen Lang refused to accept humiliation. He looked at Tu Tiantian and asked calmly, "You claim I stole the royal gold dye formula. What evidence do you have?" Master Tu sneered, "You're an uneducated, worthless child. Our family spent decades perfecting that dye, years of effort, secrecy, and cold storage to delight the imperial weavers. You're nothing more than a thief who stole our property, used our maids, and stole our formula." Tu Tiantian added apologetically, "Father, I trusted him before. I had no reason to suspect." Then she turned to Shen Lang. "You had servants harass you. I expelled them. No one at home mocked you. I treated you kindly. Why repay that with betrayal? Why destroy my family's fortune?" The officers present wore uneasy expressions. The Tu family was undeniably skilled in dyeing. Without them, no one could supply the royal looms. And Shen Lang, uneducated and unskilled, seemed incapable of independent innovation. They believed the dye truly belonged to the Tu house. Shen Lang replied softly, "You have no proof of theft. I have none of creation. Everyone will assume this formula is Tu's, and I can't defend myself." Master Tu smirked inside. Exactly right. He'd cleared the formula and got Shen Lang behind bars. "Enough talk. Arrest him. Torture if needed. We'll see if this worthless brat confesses." Shen Lang laughed coldly. "You doubt me, but proving whether I stole it is easy." He turned to Tu Tiantian. "Miss Tu, you understand dyes. Tell me, what's the hardest color to make?" She quickly answered, "Purple, by far the hardest." He nodded. Purple dye was historically complex, expensive shellfish or exotic plants, unreliable mixtures that faded, rare and precious. Then, Shen Lang made his move. "To prove the gold formula is mine, let's compete on purple dye. You, your family, invested everything over years. Me, a penniless nobody. We each make the best purple silk in 3 hours and let the truth speak." The officers looked on, intrigued. Master Tu and Tu Tiantian exchanged glances. It was a fair, harmless test. Shen Lang then sought Lin Mo's aid. "Master Lin, mind if I use your dye workshop again?" Lin Mo nodded. Shen Lang quietly brought in his secret weapon, lichen, cheap and overlooked, but historically used to create purple dyes, an obscure technique unknown to most local experts. In Lin's workshop, he crushed the lichen, boiled it with alkaline ash and urine, then fixed it with alum. The result, a pure, vibrant purple dye at almost no cost. He dyed silk and tried it under sunlight. 30 minutes later, it gleamed with deep, vibrant color, far outclassing standard purples or the two houses version. But he didn't stop there. Shen Lang then produced a rainbow-dyed silk, one piece woven through with stripes of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and violet. It shimmered under dozens of candles like a living spectrum.
A public shaming and acceptance of guilt. Soon, the two families' dyed purple silk was displayed in the grand hall, lit by dozens of candles. Their top dyer presented it proudly, a true purple, not a mixture of red and blue, derived from refined plant extract. But when Shen Lang entered bearing his own vivid purple and rainbow silks, the reaction shifted dramatically. The officials and two household alike went pale. The Tu silk, though pure, was simple and somewhat dull. Shen Lang's purple was deeper, livelier, pure art. His rainbow silk, however, was sublime, radiant, balanced, and unprecedented. Standing before them, he asked, "Is my rainbow-dyed silk also stolen from your clan?" Gasps filled the hall. Master Tu and Tu Tian Tian exchanged horrified looks. How could this man, supposedly ignorant, possess such skill? He raised his hand in a respectful bow to the presiding official, the governor's justice minister. The minister eyed him, then turned to the Tu family. "Do you still claim Shen Lang stole these dyes?" Master Tu's face twisted with anger and desperation, but Tu Tian Tian stepped forward. "No, he did not steal." The minister nodded, looking to Shen Lang. "Then apologize." Master Tu exploded in rage, storming out. Tu Tian Tian wore a look of regret, then approached Shen Lang. "My apologies. I misjudged you. Forgive me." She left gracefully. Shen Lang then bowed once more to the official. "Thank you, Minister. I hope you are well. Also, please send my respects to Viscount Wu's young daughter."